Well, I finished doing the ripping portion of preparing the cedar strips, and I'm just gonna get started setting up for the Bead Cove portion. So I'm gonna give you a look at a bit of the setup process. But if you've if you've got any experience using a router, it's pretty straightforward. So we won't spend a lot of time there. Okay, so I've got a basic homemade router table, and that's what it looks like. And I've got my extension cable on the side here, right? And I've set it up exactly the same way that I did with the table saw, with the extension just a little bit lower than the main table. For the same reason, I don't, as the strips come off the router table, I don't want them to catch on the lip. If this table was up higher, then it might catch. So just to avoid any problems when I'm running the router as I go. The router I'll be using will be the quarter cable. This is it here. I've got two of them. I think they're great routers. Very handy. So, and the router bit, what I'll be using is just these Bead Cove router bits. Okay, that's what they look like. So that would be the Cove portion. Okay, and I've got the bead already in my router. Alright, so that's the bead. Okay. Big thing when you're putting in your router bits, these are 1/4 inch shank bits, and actually I'd rather them be thicker, but that's the way they come. And but the point that I wanted to make is I've seen people put these in and have a lot of shank showing. So here's the router bit here. Okay, and I've seen them. Let's see if I can pull this out with one hand. Okay, see, it's quite long, right? But I've seen people set it up and have it sticking out quite a bit like that, and now it's not going to have a lot of vibration, but because it's a 1/4 inch shank, you don't want to have it sticking out too much, because any vibration is going to change the profile when you machine it. So what I like to do is have it, not obviously not fully in, but so that it's just like that, and that works out good for me. Okay, obviously the tools are going to get hot, and that's when the vibration happens. Okay, especially if you're going to be milling for a few hours. Alright, so that's the setup, and just for the router bits, all I use is this one here, Power Sonic carbide router bit, and it's a 1/4 inch canoe bead, it's called. So that's it. It comes in a little green case. There's a few different manufacturers, but that's how it is. Okay, and you'll be able to get this case is for the canoe bead, and you'll be able to get one for the canoe cove as well. Okay, so that's it. I'm gonna finish setting up, and if I think of anything to add, then I'll let you know. Okay, so I'm just gonna quickly show you how I set up the router. Okay, just put this in here. Okay, and the router bit's gonna pop up the other side. And now all I do is I take a strip that's already made. Okay, and again, it's kind of cheating if you haven't done it yet. But then what I do is I slide this down and let it sit inside my router bit until it fits. Okay, of course make sure that your machine is turned off. And once I have that so that the bead fits in the router bit well, then I snap it down and I'm ready to go. And I'll run a strip and check to see how it turns out, and make probably a minor adjustment, and then continue. Okay, so this is your first time running one of your strips through your router, and you don't have a pre-made strip to cheat in your setup. So how do you set it up? Okay, well, you always do your bead side first, okay? That way you're gonna have a bead and a cove, and if you do the cove side first, then you can damage the thin edges of the cove side, okay? So what you're gonna do is the bead side, the rounded side first. So put the bead router bit in your table, and then what you want to do is you're going to have the profile of your rotor bit, and where the bottom edge, you want to have that come up to the bottom of your table. Alright, then what you do is you take a strip. Now this has already been machined, but it doesn't matter. You're gonna be looking at the thickness of your strip, and you're gonna eye that up so that your C matches close to center of both edges. Okay, so that if your strips are slightly thick, well, then just balance that out. If they're slightly thin, then same thing, just balance it out between the profile. Okay, it's as simple as that. What you're gonna do is run a couple scrap pieces first and double check your profile, make some minor adjustments, and then just start machining. I just want to point out as well, all the ripping that I've just recently did, that's what's on the bottom row behind me here. You're not going to need that much to do one boat, but that's what I've been busy at. Okay, so anyhow, I hope you're enjoying the videos. Don't forget to check out our website, woodenboat.ca. Okay, thanks.